Greetings, everybody, from beautiful Davie, Florida. Fort Lauderdale United Stadium is the destination tonight as Fort Lauderdale plays host to Lexington SC here on Peacock. It's presented by All Year Cooling and Plumbing. Sean St. Jacques, Carmen Bokine, our entire crew, happy to have you with us as we take a look at the USL Super League standings presented by Delta Airlines. And, well, Carmen, a chance for Fort Lauderdale to push towards the top of the table tonight.
And, you know, Sean, take advantage with a team that they just faced back in September, so that's going to be important to them. And in terms of what they can do with a team that they already know exactly what they can get from.
Of course, Lexington looking for back-to-back victories as well. Could be a really intriguing one tonight here in the USL Super League. Fort Lauderdale with their home opener, of course, earlier this month against Brooklyn. And Carmen, they got a 1-0 victory along the way.
It was a rainy day, more than 4,000 people. Also, it's going to be forever remembered as October 6th, named as Fort Lauderdale United FC Day by the town of Davie. And then this goal by Klein at minute 82 for that winner at home. Now, back-to-back wins is the idea that they have coming into this match against Lexington.
Awesome celebrations there for a first home victory. But of course, throughout the entire season so far, as we look at the Omega XL Sport Player to Watch, Addie McCain's been pacing Fort Lauderdale with 5 goals.
Well, she scored the first one against Spokane. Then she missed scoring the second one, but then she had another one in that win against DC Power. And then it was a hat-trick, that hat-trick against Lexington. So, you know, coming into this match with 5 goals is always important for her to see if she can keep up with that scoring moment.
She leads the league in goals as well, as Lexington got their historic first league win last time out, a 3-2 victory at Spokane Zephyr.
Well, they were coming into week 9 without a win. This was not an easy one, a dramatic finish also. And finally, they were able to get that first win. So now the idea for them is try to go away once more and get those 3 points.
Yeah, Mike Dickey talked to us earlier this week about Lexington's commitment to win on the day. And of course, Sydney Shepherd scored the historic winner in stoppage time, fittingly enough, from Madison Perez. And all 5 of her assists so far this season have been on set pieces. Shepherd scored 3 of those.
And that is truly perfection. And also when you have 2 center backs that know how to play with each other that well, that means that what they're doing in training is coming and being showed on the field. Those 5 assists, 3 of those, were goals for Shepherd. So it's amazing how they connect with each other, and the advantage that I can take out of a play and bringing it into a set piece for goals is always the best thing you can have on a club.
Defenders scoring goals and set piece goals have been a theme in the USL Super League this season. These 2 teams ready to strut their stuff here on Peacock tonight. Fort Lauderdale pushing towards the top of the table in the USL Super League. Lexington hoping to make it back-to-back wins in the Sunshine State tonight. The kickoff from Davie is coming up next.
New flavors, the same traditions. Be the guest of honor. Add more flavor to your parties. El Jimador, spiked bebidas.
This is the beginning. This is a first practice, a first video session, a first pregame talk. This is a first ticket, a first scarf raise, a first kickoff. This is a tapestry of clubs and players and communities inspired by those who blazed the trail for women's sports, ready to inspire the next generation. We are the USL Super League. We're part of a movement, and this is our moment.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
The 2 most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why.
Yeah, I said what I said. I don't care, I paint the town red.
that much better.
The bright horses are broken free from the fields.
Welcome back, everybody. Sean St. Jacques, Carmen Boquin here with you. Tonight's match is presented by All Year Cooling and Plumbing between Fort Lauderdale United and Lexington Soccer Club here on Peacock in Davie, Florida. Let's jump into the starting lineups. They're brought to you by LaCroix Sparkling Water. We begin with Tyrone Mears in Fort Lauderdale.
You know, this is the sixth game for Lauderdale United FC. They already faced and win against Lexington, and only one substitution coming from the last win at home against Brooklyn is that of Adrian Jordan. She's injured, the defense player, so it's turn for Delaney Lindahl, getting her debut today as a center back for Lauderdale. Then he's keeping the same lineup.
On the other side of things, Lexington under Mike Dickey looking for back-to-back victories, and they have another strong lineup out there tonight.
You know, when you're coming from a win, don't change that much, and it's exactly what Fort Lauderdale United is doing. Lexington is also doing the same thing after winning that last game against Spokane. So the only substitution is Richardson. She's not available. Coming into the starting lineup is Emma Johnson for her second start of the season in her third match.
We're excited to see how this one is going to play out here tonight. A look at head coach Mike Dickey. Loved just about everything that his team brought to the table against Spokane last time out. They really had to work to get that historic first victory. Now every team in the USL Super League has at least one win to their name. Of course, Lexington not wanting to stop there. They want to continue to be who they are, play the way they want to play, and make it 2 wins out of 2. Fort Lauderdale, on the other side of things, trying to win a 4th consecutive game in the USL Super League here tonight.
Easier said than done, right? But at the end is the big effort in this start. When we see the coach for Lauderdale, Tyrone Mears, also, you know, great as a player, now stepping into the coaching and just ready to keep adding to this Fort Lauderdale team after he was announced back in January.
One thing that'll be interesting for his team's side, because of the recent hurricanes down in Florida and things of that nature, because most of the, especially from Milton, missed the Fort Lauderdale area. Luckily for them, of course, it hit further north, and people up there in Tampa and things of that nature, of course, we're still thinking of them. But one thing that Ali Rogers, the associate head coach for Fort Lauderdale, talked to us about earlier this week, how they had to manage some of that time without as much training on their schedule. That's something that Fort Lauderdale will have to try and overcome tonight and continue to put together strong performances.
Yeah, that was the match that they couldn't play. I can imagine that coming from a win at home in their debut, they were excited, to go and see that rivalry that's going to be happening in in Florida in general against Tampa, and then because of the weather and the hurricane and everything, it couldn't happen. And then I guess the training couldn't happen the same way. You have to do a lot of stuff at home. You can't go out. So it must have been like a weird week, and now hopefully they can get that back behind and just be ready to step back on the field 2 weeks after and try to get another win.
We'll see if Lexington can continue to ride the wave after winning in Spokane last time out. And Lexington get us started here on Peacock. They're in white and green. They'll be going from left to right. Fort Lauderdale are in blue. We are off and running in Davie, Florida at Fort Lauderdale United Stadium. The wonderfully renovated, I might add, Fort Lauderdale United Stadium. Good crowd still filing in here. Melinda Homa is our head official. And again, it's Sean St. Jacques and Carmen Boquin here with you. Thrilled to see how this one plays out. Again, Fort Lauderdale trying to make it 4 consecutive wins as they continue to try to push towards the top of the table in the USL Super League. Lexington, of course, can make up a bit of ground if they can make it back-to-back victories as well. And of course, one other game going on tonight is Carolina Ascent against Brooklyn. So 3 of the top teams in the Super League all trying to make some statements this evening on Peacock. A sliding challenge there comes in. It's cleared away by Courtney Jones for Lexington. Mary Kate McGuire, who scored in Spokane last time out, sees it roll out of play. It's a Fort Lauderdale throw. And it's headed along here. Good ball across. Well, that was a dangerous opportunity. Felicia Knox was in the middle. Might have gone out of play before the cross was made. It's going to go back to Lexington as we get our keys to the game tonight. They're presented by Amarant Bank. Well, for Fort Lauderdale, Carmen, you want them to score early and control the game.
Yeah, be dominant at home, just take control of the ball and show that, this is their house and they need to be respected, and try to score early. In the last game, you mentioned those 3 consecutive wins. In the last one, they had to wait for a little while, but in the 2 prior, they scored before the 22 minutes in both of those games. And then, for Lexington, try to keep creating chances. Not that they don't, because they have 10 goals scored, but just keep trying to get them there and get those goals scored. And of course, the most important thing as of now, concentration in terms of defense. Maybe they haven't received more goals than that one where they lost by 6, but at the end, just try to be more secure in the back so they can stop losing points away.
Mike Dickey talked to us about Lexington defensively and as a whole. He said they're getting better week in and week out. Every week there's a little bit more improvement. He said he couldn't have asked for much more against Spokane. It was a back and forth game. It was one of the better games I think we've seen in the USL Super League this season. Lexington showed the resilience to come out with all 3 points. And it's a fist shot in there. Did it take a deflection on its way through? Fort Lauderdale were asking the questions there. Not far away from Addie McCain, the leading goal scorer in the Super League.
Well, less than 3 minutes, Sean. They already faced a good entrance coming from the left flank, and now from the right, just putting themselves into this position. Hamid with the great shot, and then McCain just trying to get a hold of that ball.
Quarters tonight are brought to you by All Year Cooling and Plumbing. Not many better to have on them than Felicia Knox. Served into the penalty area. The header is looped over and out off the head of Celia Gaynor. It's a goal kick. With how many defenders and set-piece goals, specifically from corners, we've seen this season, seems like every corner now is becoming appointment television in the USL Super League. Can't go get the snacks until it's either cleared away or the ball finds the back of the net. Josette Morchet gets the start and goal tonight for Fort Lauderdale, hoping to make it back-to-back clean sheets. Kane was able to settle that down for Hamid. Hamid assesses the scene, plays it all the way back for Daria Raji. Aveni Vaca forced to reset all the way back to Morchet. And the last time these two met, September 22nd, it really ended up being the Addie McCain show. Scored a hat-trick in a 3-1 win at Lexington for Fort Lauderdale United. Sydney Shepherd scored as well, but ended up being a consolation. Here's Jasmine Hamid cutting inside. Still Hamid, blocked on the edge of the penalty area, not cleared yet. And then a bit of an overzealous challenge comes in. Anale Komani gives away the foul, and it's a free kick for the visitors. Tonight's injury report is presented by Baptist Health. Quite a few notables for both teams, and even Mike Dickey and, to be fair, Ali Rogers, the associate head coach for Fort Lauderdale, both hinted at times having to rotate a little bit. Fort Lauderdale, I should say, maybe a little bit more so. As you pointed out, Carmen, the luxury of being able to put out a similar, if not the same 11 back-to-back games, that can certainly help keep Lexington's confidence high tonight.
And if somebody's doing that also, it is for Lauderdale, because at the end, only one substitution towards this match, and also from that one that you mentioned, the victory with the hat trick from McCain against Lexington, it's only one substitution. So you're starting to get that idea of a ideal lineup for Lauderdale United, and that's always the best you can get out of the team. You know, knowing how much you have from this part of the season, then coming into the winter break, and then of course into the spring.
Of course, we'll be keeping an eye on the Carolina-Brooklyn game, which is also going on. It's 1-0 to the Ascent at the moment. 37th minute, as you can see, top left-hand part of your screen. It's going to certainly impact the top of the table, as this game has the chance to do as well. Lexington now on the attack. Good cross from Amanda Allen, who played really well in Spokane last time out, and Lexington have a corner. Got to the point where Mike Dickey kept playing Amanda Allen on the near side, then swapped her over to the far side against Spokane Zephyr, continuing to try and get her more and more opportunities on the ball. And Madison Perez, you know the story. 5 assists from these kinds of moments. Floats another one in. It's floated to the outskirts of the penalty area. And Fort Lauderdale are able to clear that one away. Lexington will settle for a throw-in off the ricochet. From the throw-in, Jones on the layoff, tried to pick out Shea Moyer, who scored against Spokane Zephyr last time out from outside the penalty area. And our referee, Melinda Homa, is going to bring this back.
And Lexington has been able to get back in the ball with the ball in the last 1 minute and a half, getting first that corner, and now just a few falls. That shows you that commitment from for Lauderdale United to try to win every single back and go back into creating some attack. But maybe these moments are the one that the away team can take good advantage and get something out of it.
Well, Sydney Shepard is queuing up. Madison Perez is on the set piece. Now Young Shin is also going to come over to discuss this. Shin will bend this into the penalty area, and actually they go out of the penalty area. It's a goal kick.
Yeah, that's part of what you practice, right? Day by day, you do that in training, and then you bring it on and you try to put it on the field. But every time we see Perez behind a ball in a set piece, you know, you can count it could be a goal. It has been 5 now.
Off the takeaway here, it's threaded through. Well, back heel attempt. Parsons tried to shoot from the edge of the penalty area. It was blocked away. Delaney Lindahl got a big block in there for Fort Lauderdale, and the hosts have a chance to break up the other end. It's a good block defensively by Claire Winter, and Lexington pick it back up. Allen is going to reset all the way back to Perez. And it's clipped upfield. It's going to roll out of play. It's going to be a goal kick for Fort Lauderdale here. And of course, in the aftermath of both hurricanes, really, Helene and Milton, the USL has partnered with United Way Suncoast to help the Tampa Bay area recover from the devastation the storm left behind. To learn how to get involved, scan the QR code or visit www.uslsoccer.com/Milton to ensure individuals and families have the access to resources they need to recover. And as well, we send our well wishes to all the families and people that were impacted by those last few storms, especially in the northwest part of Florida in particular. Hopefully it is a quick recovery, or as quick as it can be. Good touch along there by Hamid. Knox. Time and space for Fort Lauderdale. She plays it out to the far side. First time ball across. He's just wide of Sarah Cox's goal. It's going to be a goal kick. Good first time service. Just no finishing touch in the end.
You couldn't have said it better. It's such a great cross, just knowing exactly who to find. And the player that was going to get there, Hamid, she was just 1 second behind, but keep bringing those in, and maybe they can get into that first goal of the night.
One thing that I wanted to mention as well, Allie Rogers, the associate head coach with Fort Lauderdale, she echoed your sentiments, talking about how Fort Lauderdale, they felt in the Brooklyn game that they could have put the game away a little bit earlier, want to score earlier goals in games in general. Tonight's a good opportunity to do that, but again, Lexington continuing to improve, continuing to grow in confidence, and it is a stiff test. Allie Rogers, of course, admitted that as well.
And that night was surreal, you know, your home debut. It was raining a lot, of course. like it was a good Fort Lauderdale rain with, you know, all the message sent from above. But they finally were able to get that goal and get the win thanks to that clean goal.
Cameron Brooks forced to go backwards by the Allen pressure. Was there a push in the back there? Yes, there was. Perez on McCain. The Fort Lauderdale captain wins the hosts a free kick.
Cameron Bank is your banking partner for life's major milestones. For more information, visit amaranth.com.
Clipped ahead by Brooks. Trying to find Hamid, good defensive header away. McCain follows up not once but twice. Lovely reverse ball to Hamid. Hamid's ball across. And Sarah Cox is able to corral it in traffic for Lexington.
And this one was another good one, just getting into the end of that back line and putting the ball, crossing it just a little bit to the back, seeing if Gordon was able to get close to it. But at the end, it was Cox saying no in this one.
One of the great images that win for Lexington over Spokane was Sarah Cox being showered, quite literally, with the water from her teammates in the post-game interview. Her team almost creates a chance there, still could fall for an opportunity. Allen trying to pick up the pieces here for Lexington. She lays it off. Winter across. On the layoff, you know, Shea Moyer can hit them from a long distance away. She's forced back. Shin up ahead. Good turn by McGuire to the byline. She keeps it in play and tried to find Winter. Moyer blocked on the edge of the penalty area. Moyer recycles the possession. Moyer. It's clipped up ahead, and McCain's touch allows Fort Lauderdale to alleviate the pressure. Jasmine Hamid on the near side. Hamid cutting in field. And the ball forward is going to go to Sarah Cox instead. Tried to find Shania Gordon, but the attack fizzles out. Of course, Sarah Cox also made some jaw-dropping saves. Win over Spokane. We asked Mike Dickey about her performance, and he talked about the fact that he coached her as a youth national team player years ago and then met up with her again at a recent combine, and she was in the corporate world and was making success in that space, and that connection led to Mike Dickey bringing Sarah Cox on board with this Lexington side. And
incredible.
He said of the saves that she made, the best players, they do. They don't think, they just do. And that's what he attributed, I should say, those amazing saves. Sarah Cox not thinking about it, just doing it because you've practiced it thousands of times over hours and hours. That's how she came up with those amazing saves to keep Lexington in the game and it led to Lexington winning the game against Spokane.
Yeah, and as of now, she played 3 games. This is her 4th start, and she came into this match with 15 saves. That's enormous.
There's one save in particular off a ricochet where she just flung her boot at it and somehow kept it out. Amanda Allen trying to make some headway, but it's well defended by Komani for Fort Lauderdale. Lindahl sends it all the way back to Morshea.
And, you know, Sean, it's going to be almost 17 minutes of this high-intensity game being played. We'll see how long they can take it, or if they're going to start trying just to control the ball a little bit more. Let's not forget about the weather and how hot it is in Fort Lauderdale, and, you know, how they're going to try to keep themselves in the best position towards getting better into the final third.
Nice run through there. McCain lays it off. Pinned up ahead for Hamid. Brooks making the overlapping run. Hamid clipping it into the penalty area, and it is cleared away. Lexington will settle it down with Allen. All the way back, and Sarah Cox sends it upfield. It's going to be a Lexington throw on the near side. Of course, Mike Dickey was also happy with the fact that that first goal that they scored against Spokane was really a team goal in itself. It came off a throw-in, and then Mike Dickey kind of took us through how it was 8 passes, and then of course Moyer let fly from the edge of the penalty area. A little bit of fortune on that, but fortune favors the bold. Got to shoot if you want to score, and that goal really got Lexington off to a perfect start against Spokane Zephyr last time out. And there's more good build-up here, again from a throw-in, but this time Fort Lauderdale are able to snuff it out. Knocks up ahead. Challenge came in on McCain. Referee thought about blowing the whistle, and now will. It's going to be a free kick. I think the referee was waiting to see if Fort Lauderdale United was going to gain an advantage. They didn't. She brings it back for a free kick. Baca plays it back, pretty even so far. Possession coming up on 20 minutes gone here in Davie.
It's a 52-48. I would say it's pretty even for what we're seeing. And the moments where either team has the ball is because they do work a lot in the midfield to recover.
Gordon's cross was clipped. She's saying it may have bounced out of play as Cox tried to collect that. Assistant referee says it stayed in play, and Lexington will clear it. Good hold-up play by Parsons. Another player who was excellent last time out against Spokane, was involved in all 3 goals in some way, shape, or form, at least in the build-up. That ball is clipped up ahead. McGuire with a chance if she can keep this in play, and she does. McGuire, lovely skill, gets past the first challenge and plays the ball behind the arriving Emma Johnson. That's the right idea for Lexington. And Fort Lauderdale in the end do clear it. Mike Dickey also talked to us about Madison Parsons and her journey to be here. So she played briefly in college a few years, then actually went to California to help her family by picking up a full-time job to stay in shape and to stay in soccer shape. She played in some men's leagues during that time. So ever since Parsons has come in, she's been a wonderful success story. He says super professional, extra during and after practice work that she's put in, and said how involved she was in the 3 goals last time out, and just said how great of a teammate she is. He said superhuman being. And he said to transition from the world she was in to our world, she's been a wonderful pro. He says it's not easy to do that, but she's done so well to get acclimated and be a big part of this team. Gordon plays it back across. Hamid! Oh, Cox makes the save. It was bending from right to left, and the Lexington goalkeeper comes up with her first big stop of the night.
And that big and interesting combination coming from Gordon, just knowing exactly where to put the ball, then the deflection that served as an assist for Hamid, just coming from the back, knowing exactly where to go, putting that ball into the near post, and of course Cox with a great save.
It's another all-year cooling and plumbing corner for Fort Lauderdale. It goes right at goal, and Cox can't keep it out, it's in! Now the celebrations are all around Addie McCain. Fort Lauderdale forced it over the line, and they have a 1-0 lead.
And if you get to score from a set piece in front of the club that has been scoring that many set pieces, that is always great. Take it, a great corner, put on the box, and then of course McCain just adding, taking advantage. It doesn't matter with what you score the goal, just go ahead and score it. She was there to deflect that ball and send it to the back of the net after that amazing save, by the way, for Cox. I don't know if it even counts on the saves, but she just wasn't able to grab that ball, and then McCain just send it back to the net.
Addie McCain continues to pace the USL Super League in goals. It's her 6th of the season, and all Fort Lauderdale goals are presented by Baptist Health. Right place, right time. And Addie McCain scores her 4th goal against Lexington alone this season. Oh, we said it earlier. You just can't take your eyes off it when there's a corner in this league this season. Another one goes in from a corner and a set piece.
And we're having such a dynamic match, you know, not everybody's steady, and whenever they're trying to be on the field, because that of Gordon, Hamid, McCann, they're everywhere on the field. You look around, they're in the left. You look on the other side, they're in the right. Like, I don't even know how fast they're moving throughout. And not only them, you can see that in Lexington too. They know that they play to each other already, and I think that's why we're getting a little bit of this movement throughout.
Well, set piece chance now for Lexington. Up the other end here. It's going to be played short for Shea Moyer. And Lexington are forced to recycle the possession back to Perez. Perez looped it up ahead, trying to find Parsons. Nicely done to settle it down by Allen. Jones. Sent back out by Johnson. Shepard. For Shin. Nearly a good link-up play there. That was McGuire trying to thread the needle for Winter, but Fort Lauderdale have a chance to break up the other end. Here's Hamid. Time and space to work with. Hamid assessing the options here. Hamid cuts inside, lays it off. First time ball, played in for Brooks. Brooks to the byline. That's touched out of play on the near side. Looks like the Carolina-Brooklyn games at halftime. The Ascent have a 1-0 lead. Fort Lauderdale looking to increase their advantage here. They nearly had an opportunity fall kindly for them. They still might. Raji trying to lay it off for Felicia Knox. And Lexington clear it. Only as far as Vaca, who resets. Gordon. A step over or two, it actually hits off the corner flag. It's a throw-in. The young Shin there, who's been one of the better defensive players for Lexington so far this season, able to hold Gordon there. But a throw-in upcoming. Gordon's hold-up play. McCain. It's touched away as Lindahl tried to get back on the end of it. The hosts keep pushing in search of a second one here. McGuire will clear it, and it's out for a throw. Fort Lauderdale really starting to force the issue as the half moves along. McCain's touch goes out of play. It's a goal kick.
It's incredible. Lexington has not one shot on target. Fort Lauderdale has been doing everything in their power just to get over and put themselves in front of Sarah Cox. I love what Jordan and Hamid are doing throughout, just putting those balls. And then, of course, McCann, how can you not mention what she's doing in her fourth goal against Lexington?
Lexington had to be a bit careful there. Moyer just about got that out of trouble. Winter, and Cox is able to clear.
That has to be already a record high on the league of somebody scoring against the club.
Here comes Lexington up the other end. Jones, great cut in field. Tries to slide this through for Allen. Parsons. Good ball back across, and it's headed away. That was a dangerous ball in, looking for McGuire. Follow up by Winter, but it's cleared away, looking for Gordon. And Shin touches it out of play. Now, Select is the official match ball supplier of the USL Super League and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select product specials and more. Select, the player's choice. Winter up ahead. It's clipped into the center. Morshea dives on top of it for Fort Lauderdale United. And the outlet finds Hamid. A glance at the live table off screen tells us that Carolina, who again, yet to be beaten in the USL Super League. They have a chance to get to 16 points tonight if they hold on against Brooklyn, but Fort Lauderdale, even after tonight's proceedings, still have a couple of games in hand, and well, if Tyrone Mears' side win this game and see this game out, long way to go, of course, over an hour to play, Fort Lauderdale could get within 3 points of the top of the table, again, with a couple of games in hand.
McCann was already part of the starting lineup of September. Mears already the coach of September. So if they keep this up towards this end of October, which is like just 1 week away, they are on the road to be again, you know, in the honors of the week, of the month.
Also has the chance to be two pretty interesting developing stories. Fort Lauderdale's incredible run of wins and Carolina's ascent to the top of the table without any blemishes, no defeats on the resume to this point. Although again, I wouldn't count Brooklyn out in that other game just yet. McCain, was she pushed over? Referee says not enough for a foul. Clipped back in. It's gonna go out of play. That was Cameron Brooks trying to find Shania Gordon. It's a goal kick just past the half an hour mark.
And you know, also I wouldn't count down Lexington because at the end they've been good in terms of just coming from the back. They got that first win. That's always important. They take advantage of set pieces and they're trying just to fight a little bit more in terms of the midfield and how they bring that ball into the attacking third and get that good chance and maybe, of course, get that goal.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. Lexington did such a wonderful job riding the ebbs and flows of that wild 5-goal thriller in Spokane. So they know how to battle back. Again, if you're just joining us here on Peacock, Addie McCain has scored again for Fort Lauderdale. They have a 1-0 lead here in Davie, Florida. Hamid was not able to keep that one in on the near side. Courtney Jones on the cover. It's a throw in. There's McCain, right place, right time on the corner, nudging it with her head past Sarah Cox. That's how Fort Lauderdale have been able to take the early lead. And Lexington are going to get a free kick on the near side, just to the left of their coach, Mike Dickey. There's Shepard, who was the hero last time out against Spokane in stoppage time. It's just going to get past Shin. It'll be a Fort Lauderdale throw. Could be another chance on here for Fort Lauderdale. The cross comes in. Good communication at the back. Perez and Cox on the same page. It rolls right to the goalkeeper, and nothing untoward occurs. Raji. Vaca up ahead. Knox trying to thread the needle for Komani. Nice run forward again by Vaca. Tries to push it ahead. Shepard and company are able to clear it towards Moyer. And maybe a chance for Lexington to break it on here with Johnson. Johnson trying to find Allen, and it just misses her. It's going to roll all the way out of play. Another nearly moment for Lexington in transition. A little bit more accurate of a pass, and the visitors could have been off to the races. Morshea under pressure. Gaynor assesses the scene. Here comes that Lexington pressure that worked really well against Spokane last time out. This time Fort Lauderdale are just about able to play through it. Raji up ahead. Knox. Knox looks to switch the point of the attack. Kept in by Gordon. Gordon trying to turn upfield. Too many white shirts there, and Lexington gets the possession back. Here's Claire Winter.
Took a while, but finally Lexington was able to steal that ball after getting in and out of trouble for a little while for Lauderdale United.
That ball gets clipped up ahead, but it's going to bounce out of play before Parsons could corral it. And it goes back to Fort Lauderdale United. This run of wins for Fort Lauderdale started, of course, all the way back on September 13th. Club's first ever win was a 2-0 victory at DC Power. Then the Lexington 3-1 win, the Addie McCain hat trick, and then another clean sheet against Brooklyn last time out. And I think a lot of teams would tell you that there's still a long way to go in the season. They expect better and better as the season moves along, and improvements, not just individually, but collectively amongst these teams. But Fort Lauderdale have it going on right now, and they want to keep the momentum moving in the right direction to finish out this month of October and carrying it into the rest of the fall months here.
And every club is facing each other 4 times. This is their second matchup. Next ones are in 2025 in May and February. I'm sorry, February and May. I'm swapping the month. So, you know, it's a long season, and they have to start taking in consideration every single match that they have in terms of just getting the points early to see if they can find it safe coming into the end.
That is going to be interesting to see how that plays out when we have that break and then everyone comes back for it's essentially the second half of the season. Of course, there are leagues over in Europe and elsewhere that do have what's called a winter break. It's very similar to what the USL Super League is implementing here. Just gives everyone a chance to refresh and get ready for the back half of the season. A good cut infield there by Mary-Kate Maguire. Moyer for Lexington, back for Maguire. Fort Lauderdale trying to not give an inch on that far side, and it's clipped towards the edge of the penalty area. Parsons on the turn, and she scores a magnificent goal. Wow, what a finish. Madison Parsons equalizes for Lexington with a gem. And it's 1-1 here in Davie. My goodness.
And that is gold because she's waiting there just in the edge of the box, and she just turns around, gets that ball clipped the best way possible, sends it to the back of the net. It's her third goal of the season. It's incredible how Maddie Pearson was just able to do that. I think is one of the best goals I've seen lately, and she just did it with such a grace that you know that was gonna be an amazing goal. Wow.
Parsons just tied Shepard for the team lead in goals. And we talked about earlier how Mike Dickey was so impressed with how she's meshed in with this group and how great of a human being she is. Well, she's just as good of a player. My goodness, what a strike that was.
And those type of goals happens when you can't unlock a game that is so stuck in the middle. You need an individuality, something out of the game, and this was exactly it. I don't think Fort Lauderdale United was in any idea of them getting or conceding a goal in this first half because they've been having the ball, the opportunities and everything, and then came Madison and just scored that amazing goal.
We told you about Lexington's ability to bounce back. And now Knox looks to lead Fort Lauderdale up the other end. Oh, and Knox wasn't far away either. A vicious strike that fizzes past the post.
And that was a great response, saying you guys can score from outside the box. Well, we have that ability too, and I'll take my chance and get a great shot from a big of a distance. Only going wide, but keep bringing those on because they've done everything from just getting into the back line and then putting the balls back. Now, from outside, it's going to be interesting to see also.
Felicia Knox coming into the night first in chances created with 9. She was the first player Fort Lauderdale signed, had a great collegiate career. Cox will reset here for Lexington with 5 minutes plus stoppage time left in the half. Parsons, early ball up ahead, and Morshea resets for Fort Lauderdale United. Hamid. Well, she was able to get to the ball, but the flag is up, offside. And it's a free kick. A wonderful response from Mike Dickey's side here. Still time for one of these two sides to grab a halftime advantage. Did that go out of play? Yes, it did. Just before the pass was intended for Gordon on that far side. It goes back to Lexington. It's going to be a foul. It's brought back. Free kick for Fort Lauderdale. 3 minutes plus stoppage time left. And Komani allows the host to come up with something here potentially from a set piece. Goal from McCain canceled out by Parsons. It's clipped into the penalty area. It's going to go to the edge of the 18 where it's laid off here. Raji for Brooks. Vaca's ball into the penalty area. He's caught by Cox with a couple of Fort Lauderdale players lurking. Oh, can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including live matches from the USL Super League. Visit uslsuperleague.com/SiriusXM to view the schedule. Shepard's ball up ahead was cut out. Good follow-up by Winter. And she wins a free kick for Lexington. Oh, great extra effort there by Claire Winter, never gave up on the play. And now Lexington have a late first half set piece to work with on this side of the field.
And what a first half it's been, right? Because at the end, it's been played at a high intensity. I thought there were going to be moments where they're going to be being just a little bit down, but still they kept it almost similar since it started, creating a lot of chances for Lauderdale United. But at the end, Lexington had 1-1, and they made it a reality, a goal.
Could be a chance on here. It just bounces out of the path of Claire Winter. Good ball in by Perez. It just didn't quite find a target at the back end of it, and Morshea will reset. Just another example of why Madison Perez takes those set pieces. Pressure here from Lexington. It's a takeaway. Johnson slides it through. Allen's in the middle, picked up by Moyer, kept in by Moyer. 1 added minute at the end of the half. And it's going to be cleared out for a Lexington throw-in the final seconds. Well, a chance for the visitors to maybe turn this game around. From the throw-in, McGuire holds off Gordon. Good footwork by Shin. Ball into the middle's headed away by Vaca. Maybe still time for Lexington if they can quickly recycle it. Shepard. Shepard's dispossessed initially, stays with it. Shin on the far side. Out for a throw-in. It could be the last moment of the half here. Referee just took a little peek at the watch. Shin throws it in. Parsons It's touched out of play. And that is the end of the half here in Davie, Florida. Now, that was a brilliant start for Fort Lauderdale that culminated in Addie McCain's league-leading 6th goal of the season. But a little bit of Maddie magic at the other end. Madison Parsons equalizing for Lexington. And it's well poised, Carmen, for the second 45. 1-1 is the score at the half.
I think both clubs have done great stuff, and then, of course, make just a few mistakes, like allowing Madison Parson to just be by herself there. Nobody was having her mark. Nobody was trying to see what was happening with a player that was just right outside the box, and that's the things that you need to control a little bit more when you're winning a match. But they were so thrown into that attacking third and just creating and generating on front that they took advantage from that good opportunity, and Lexington was able to level it up. I think the only good thing out of this is that second half. Brace yourself, Sean, because it's going to be a really good second half.
And once again, Lexington showing their powers of recovery, the resilience that they've continued to develop under Mike Dickey on full display, on top of the fact that Madison Parsons just had an excellent finish. Like you said earlier, one of the better goals we've seen so far in the Super League this season.
And you know, I don't know if you felt it, but Fort Lauderdale was winning, and they were more going forward and frustrated without not scoring another one than Lexington, without the ball, without the chances. They were calm and collected, just trying to trail behind the ball, get it back, and then take a good advantage, and that's exactly what they did.
We're certainly thrilled to see how the second half is going to play out between these two in Davie, Florida. A great opening statement from Fort Lauderdale, but Lexington had the answer through Madison Parsons, two of the best players we've seen so far in this league, getting on the score sheet. And of course, we'll have plenty to come at the half, brought to you by Amerant Bank after this.
Is the beginning. This is a first practice, a first video session, a first pregame talk. This is a first ticket, a first scarf raise, a first kickoff. This is a tapestry of clubs and players and communities inspired by those who blazed the trail for women's sports, ready to inspire the next generation. We are the USL Super League. We're part of a movement, and this is our moment.
In South Florida, the fun never stops, and neither do we.
See, but on the field and at home, we keep our cool.
At All Year, we offer same-day AC and plumbing service and installation.
And with no money down financing, you keep scoring goals.
Our family serving your family all year. Call us today at 833-ALL-YEAR. That's 833-ALL-YEAR. All Year proudly supports women's professional soccer. Hi, I'm Sloan Smith. We love our Florida sunshine, but a hot house? Definitely not. At All Year, we offer same-day AC service and installation. Need to stay cool? Yes, all year. Need help today? Yes, all year. Zero down financing? Yes, all year. We're South Florida's #1 for comfort because our family is serving your family all year. Call us today at 833-ALL-YEAR. That's 833-ALL-YEAR.
What does it mean to feel welcome? To not only be cared for, but to be cared about, to trust. At Baptist Health, this is the warmer side of care. So welcome to being treated with a human touch, where your best interest is our best interest. Here, we advance innovation and treatments through research while educating the next generation of experts close to home. Welcome to the warmer side of care. Welcome to Baptist Health.
Halftime here on Peacock is presented by Amerant Bank. Sean St. Jacques, Carmen Boquin, happy to have you with us. 1-1 is the score between Fort Lauderdale and Lexington. Still a big second half to come here in Fort Lauderdale. And now we look at the news and notes around the USL Super League. Of course, a big first win for the DC Power, stoppage time winner against Brooklyn. And of course, Lexington trying to make it back-to-back wins after that wild win against Spokane. And we talked about it earlier, Carmen. Madison Perez and her set-piece exploits continue to be one of the storylines in the league.
It's incredible what this defensive player, the center back, is doing. She has been able to give 5 assists, all of them coming from a set piece. In this match, she hasn't been able yet, but she has been able to get into the final third a few times, and hopefully she's going to be able to keep bringing on into the league that good capacity of her, of knowing exactly where to put the ball and just find another one from a set piece.
Out-of-town scores in Week 10 are brought to you by Delta Airlines. And, well, the game we've been keeping an eye on. Carolina still leading against Brooklyn by a 0-0 after the two had a draw in New York City last time out. Wednesday, it was a 0-0 draw between DC Power and Dallas Trinity. Carolina staying unbeaten for now, Carmen.
And exactly, that is what we're enjoying during this game week 10. Can you believe it, Sean? It seemed like it started yesterday, and we're already at a point where we're starting to see who are the teams that are going to be taking advantage and being able to concentrate that extra power in terms of scoring and getting those big wins.
And we're certainly excited to see as well what's going to happen here in Davie in the second half between Fort Lauderdale and Lexington. We'll step aside for now. We'll have highlights from the first half coming up after the break here on the Amerant Bank Halftime Report. Lexington showed the resilience. Sean St. Jacques, Carmen Boquin back here with you in the Amerant Bank Halftime Report. 1-1 between Fort Lauderdale and Lexington here in the USL Super League in Davie, Florida. Great first half between these two. We look back at the halftime highlights presented by Blue Water Books and Charts, and we begin, Carmen, with Fort Lauderdale on the front foot.
Yeah, they were able to take control of the match all throughout, have the possession, direct exactly where it was going. And then, of course, between Gordon and Hamid, they were doing such a good damage to Lexington, of course, including McCann, which here she was able to get the win with that great goal.
6 goals now, half a dozen already for Addie McCain. Right place, right time. That's what the best strikers do. They get in the right positions.
Yeah, you have to be where you need to be, you know, just putting yourself in that position in front of the goal and roaming around until you get the good opportunity, which is exactly what Madison Parson was doing. She was just there. She received such a great assist from Moyer, and she was able to turn around, get the ball in the position where she exactly wanted it, and then just curve it into the goal for such a great goal.
Her third Super League goal of the season, and what a finish it was. Addie and Maddie, the 2 goal scorers so far here in Florida. That is correct, yes. And the stats look like this here at halftime, presented by Beyond Bankcard. What stands out here? Looks like Fort Lauderdale obviously have more of the shots and shots on target, but again, Lexington's ability to bounce back helped to win out in that first half.
At the moment at the 37th minute where Madison Parsons scores the goal, they had not one shot on target or one shot. So that was 1-1. And after that, they were able to get 2 more shots. So in terms of timing, they were able to bring their best self towards the end of the match. Maybe it was because of Fort Lauderdale feeling a little bit more tired and giving them the ball, and they took advantage of that. Next 45, I can't wait.
We're ready for it. Amarant Bank halftime will end here. We'll take a break. Second half's next.
Don't miss La Planta. Get your tickets now. We're offering a special discount. Use the code UDB20 at checkout to save 20% on your tickets to La Planta. Colombia contra Argentina. Right here at NSU Soccer Stadium.
Team's really good first 45 minutes. Great start for Fort Lauderdale. And of course, that wonderful response from Lexington as we look at one of the great storylines this week in the USL Super League. 8 different players called up for international duty. 4 players, the bottom 4 on the list, including Reese Klein for Fort Lauderdale, all for the under-19 U.S. national team. And then Amina Ekic for Bosnia and Herzegovina, Morocco, Costa Rica, Argentina also represented internationally amongst this group as well. Wonderful achievements for those players and a great ad for the league as well on top of that.
Yeah, we have Reese Klein in the bench, hopefully, and we'll see if she gets to have minutes before parting towards that U19 with the U.S. And then Emma Johnson, she's on the field today. So it tells you how big these moments are happening for all of these players being able to still showcase themselves in terms of what they're going to be acquiring with their clubs.
It says a lot, not just about the players individually, but already about the early months of the USL Super League and its talent. We're already seeing international call-ups. That's a wonderful thing. And for those teams, also for the USL Super League as a whole. And, well, based on those first 45 minutes, can't be too surprised. Saw some wonderful play between these 2 teams, including some great goals as well. As the teams come back onto the pitch, we remind you as well, in the aftermath of both Hurricanes Helene and Milton, that the USL has partnered with United Way Suncoast to help the Tampa Bay area recover from devastation the storm left behind. To learn how you can get more involved, scan the QR code or visit www.uslsoccer.com/Milton to ensure individuals and families have the access to resources that they need to recover. Sarah Cox gets ready. We're ready to go for this second half here on Peacock. Referee's whistle goes. Teams switch sides. Fort Lauderdale in their home blues are going from left to right at the start of the second half here at Fort Lauderdale United Stadium. in Davie, Florida. Sean St. Jacques, Carmen Boquin, our entire crew, thrilled to have you with us. It's a wonderful venue, and so far, Carmen, it's been a wonderfully played game. Addie McCain's 6th goal of the season put Fort Lauderdale in front. You see there, 22nd minute. But then a little dose of Maddie magic. Parsons with the equalizer about 15 minutes after that.
I like that, Maddie Magic. It should stay.
Could see more of it,
Yeah.
depending on how the second half plays out.
That's a good nickname, Maddie Magic.
Now Fort Lauderdale really started the game strong and out on the front foot. See if that is how second half for Tyrone Mears and his side plays out. Ali Rogers talked about scoring goals earlier. That did happen. And again, Parsons with a wonderful response. That's where we stand right now. And again, we're keeping an eye on the Carolina Ascent Brooklyn game as well. Carolina now have a 2-0 lead. They've scored since the last time we updated you. So it looks like, barring a late Brooklyn comeback, the Carolina Ascent unbeaten run is going to move on to another week in the USL Super League. Nice ball played up ahead for McCain. McCain gets some help behind her, clipped up ahead by Komani to switch the point of the attack. Brooks down the line for Hamid, who really had an excellent first half, helping to create chances for United. And that ball's gonna fly out of play, looking on this near side for Shania Gordon. The battle between Nayoung Shin and Shania Gordon's been a really fun individual battle to watch as the half has turned into the second half, of course. It's going to trickle out of play for a Fort Lauderdale throw.
Yeah, and it has to be really hard to measure how you can stop theirs of Hamid or Gordon, because they swap all throughout the first match, and I guess they're gonna keep doing that, just being free in terms of moving into the middle and then just facing it forward.
Here's Knox. Knox actually almost scored in the first half. Slides it through here for Gordon. Gordon back across, tried to find McCain. And it's cleared out for a throw-in. Vaca. Clipped in by Lindahl. And Sarah Cox, he's there to get it. Remember, Fort Lauderdale has their winning streak at 3 right now, trying to make it 4 straight Super League wins. Lexington unbeaten in their last 2. Trying to make it back-to-back wins and 3 unbeaten in a row. Of course, Lexington, if they win tonight, they do have a chance to jump up a couple of spots. They could pass up Spokane and DC if they can get up to 8 points tonight. And again, a Fort Lauderdale win. And they have a couple of games in hand on Carolina, but they'd only be 3 points back of the league leaders.
Yeah, they're down 2 matches without a play, so that 6 points is always important. And they're going to start facing now a few rivals, just like next match, because it's with another rival that they already got a win with against.
Flipped up ahead here for Gordon, and the flag is up. That leads us into our look at the upcoming schedule for Fort Lauderdale. It's presented by Visit Fort Lauderdale. the one that's going to be on Peacock October 27th. They'll be at Brooklyn, where Carolina just came from earlier in the week. So they'll go to the Big Apple to test themselves against a very strong Jess Silva side. Overall, so far this season, have been very, very good defensively. And of course, are also in the top 4 as we speak. Currently sitting in 3rd, just ahead of 4th place Dallas Trinity in the live Super League table. That's touched ahead here for Addie McCain. And McCain will shoot. That's some movement from left to right on it, but Sarah Cox is able to grab it.
And how Addie McCain is capable of just getting something out of almost nothing, because it was a good idea, but still, you could go just a little bit forward. She decides to go with that shot. Imagine if it would have been just to the far post, maybe it would have different, but take advantage of those good opportunities, and maybe they can get that second one.
Oh, the challenge there from McCain on Shepard. He's going to go Lexington's way. It's a free kick for the visitors here. Winter. Let's reset back to Perez. Now Fort Lauderdale starting to put some pressure on Lexington. Instead, Sarah Cox plays it over the top to avoid that. Shin almost kept it in play. Quickly, it's put back in play for Gordon. McCain's in the middle. Gordon tries to find her. Instead, it's played out for a goal kick.
Yeah, she's putting the whole effort, the run, just getting into the end line and just trying to bring the ball back into the bag, but ends up going just way too wide.
It's one of the things that Lexington coach Mike Dickey talked to us about. Didn't want the talented and fast front three to get in behind and have moments like that. They were able to fend off the last couple of moments there. As it looks like a change is going to be made here for Fort Lauderdale. Felicia Knox is going to come out, and Taylor Smith is going to take her place. Substitutions are presented by Omega XL Sports. Fort Lauderdale are back on the front foot. Clipped into the middle towards McCain. It's touched away. Not cleared yet. Gordon keeps it alive. Lindahl back into the middle, again looking for McCain. Hamid picks up the pieces, but cannot find Cameron Brooks. And it's a throw-in for Sporting Lex on the far side. Quickly goes right back to Fort Lauderdale on the throw. Komani. McCain emerges with possession, and Komani with the shot. But it flashes wide of the target.
And Kamani took advantage. She knows where she's positioned. She tries to go directly on goal. Could have kept maybe the ball, but at the end, she decides to do that. And it shows in terms of what they want to do. The substitution makes me wonder if they want to populate the midfield and get balls faster and go maybe a little bit more direct, because you're bringing down a player that it's up front for one in the middle. So we'll see if that changes their positions in the field.
Another chance here for Fort Lauderdale. It's Gordon. Gordon across. Wow, that was very close. Right across the face of goal. I don't think Sarah Cox got a touch onto that. It's a Lexington throw.
And how many crosses like this have we seen so far from Gordon looking for somebody? I think we can go in the count of maybe 5 or 6 throughout the first half, and as of now, it's through 2 already in less than 10 minutes.
Fort Lauderdale starting the second half like they started the first half, on the front foot and looking for a goal. Onto the near side, here is Taylor Smith. She's able to get it past Shin, but Shin recovers nicely. It is going to bounce out of play in the end, and it's going to be a Fort Lauderdale corner.
Taylor Smith, one of the natives from Fort Lauderdale, stepping back on the field. She hasn't started yet, but this is her 5th match coming from the bench.
Corners are brought to you by All Year Cooling and Plumbing. And from the corner, a little flicked attempt. Reset for Smith. And Smith is blocked, and it's going to be a possible head injury here. Referee rightly stops the play. That's brave defending by the goal scorer, Madison Parsons. She's immediately saying that she's okay.
She definitely took it for the team, because that ball was going to be coming back into the box, and it was really crowded with blue shirts. Wow.
Well, again, the referee was right to stop it. And they'll have a quick look at Madison Parsons. Again, you know, the athletes always want to continue on, doesn't matter. And
no.
Medical staff still have to check to make absolutely sure that the players are okay in moments like this.
And it's important to learn to do that. I always mention that, because at the end, wherever you are in your life and you see somebody get a big hit in their head, do that. And if not, you know, seek immediate health care.
Lauderdale throw-in on the near side. Vaca. Komani forced to retreat, and it's a reset all the way back to Gaynor. That falls kindly for Lindahl. And Gordon does really well to keep that in play. Madison Parsons is still waiting to be allowed back onto the field. So for now, Lexington have just 10. And as soon as I say that, it's now 11 v 11. McGuire up ahead. Parsons gets right back to work, but is dispossessed. Gordon, some time and space on the near side. Cuts in field, the layoff. Raji, not able to do much with it, and then it's a hold by Komani. Free kick for Lexington, and a yellow card for Anyele Komani. We'll take another look.
Yeah, of course she wanted to just keep the ball and see if she can win it back and go back into that attacking third, and ends up committing this foolish foul, if you could name it that way, in a moment where Lexington was just trying to go back again.
Komani back onto it, touched off of Winter. It's a Fort Lauderdale throw. We approach the hour mark here in Davie on Peacock. 1-1. Oh, gorgeous little flick there by McCain. Chance for Hamid to run onto it, but it's cleared away by Courtney Jones. Just another glimpse of Addie McCain's skill and instincts. Fort Lauderdale will have a throw-in to work with here. Cameron Brooks right into the center. It's headed down. And Sporting Lex have enough numbers around the ball to deal with it. Shepard up ahead. And a whistle ends the sequence. Well, now Lex Sporting will have a couple of changes upcoming here. Kaylee Utley is going to come on. And subs are brought to you by Omega XL Sport. Utley in for Johnson. He's about to go to under-19 duty with the U.S. Shin is out as well, and we'll see Julie Mackin take her place. So Lex Sporting with a couple of changes there, and Fort Lauderdale will quickly get possession back. We'll see how those changes for Lexington impact things for Mike Dickey's group. Ball through there was for McCain, intended for McCain. One back by Shepard for Lexington. Perez out to the far side, and Lexington have a throw-in to work with here. Another update on the game going on between Carolina and Brooklyn. They're now in stoppage time. It's still 2-0 to Carolina. Looks like they might get the points in the end. That'll end the home and home between those two clubs. Played in New York earlier this week, and now down south for the rematch. And Ascent is going to end up getting 4 points out of a possible 6. There's the exact number where they're at. Into the 92nd minute they go. Not a bad week for the team at the top of the table in the USL Super League. Again, if that stands, that'll be 8 matches unbeaten for Carolina. From the free kick here, it's headed to the edge of the penalty area. Lexington still trying to put on the pressure, but Fort Lauderdale comes out with it. Lindahl up ahead, it's cut out by Moyer, who got the assist on the Lexington goal. And Lex Sporting will have a throw-in on the near side. Mackin. It's gonna go down the line, and Lindahl tried to keep it in, at least keep it from going out for a corner. Looks like Fort Lauderdale have more defending to do on the back end of that sequence.
And of course, who's going behind that ball? It couldn't be any other than Perez, right?
I was going to say, the reason you know it's a corner and not a throw is because Perez is running over to take it. 5 assists, all from set pieces. The ball is clipped in there. It's going to be headed back towards Madison Perez here. Perez back into the mixture. It was headed. It's going to go out of play. It's a goal kick in the end. McGuire was able to just about get a touch onto it, but couldn't redirect it on frame. Every Wednesday, listen to USL Super League Game Week, a deep dive into all things Super League with hosts Marion Crowder and Anna Whitty. Follow along all season on the SiriusXM app. Never a dull moment in the USL Super League. I'm sure there's plenty for those two to chat about on the next edition of Game Week.
Yeah, I listen to the show every week, and you know, it's really exciting to do the recap of what happened in the weekend and see towards what you'll have the next one. This episode was delicious to watch and enjoy.
Well, that was a chance for McGuire. Defending required from Vaca, and a little bit of help from Brooks to make sure Lexington didn't have a real clear-cut opportunity there.
Yeah, and Rashish hasn't been asked to do so much more in terms of facing Lexington. Only one shot in this second half, all throughout, aside from the goal, of course, that it was impossible for her to do anything in terms of where that goal was sent. But we'll see if Lexington keeps getting better in terms of getting into that attacking third.
Oh, lovely little dink over the top by Hamid. Gordon's in the middle. Hamid's cross headed away by Shepard. And Shepard has to follow up. Oh, McCain gets back on top of it! And just dinks it over the top and wide of Sarah Cox's goal.
They have to feel lucky that that ball didn't go on target, because it was a great way of taking, you know, the option that you have. That's the research that you have. Bounce it, just send it there, a little bit wide, but still dangerous enough.
Addie McCain just never gave up on the play and almost scored again. Her goal for Fort Lauderdale came back in the 22nd minute. 16 minutes after that, 38th minute, Madison Parsons scored for Lexington. What a goal it was to equalize both of those goals in the first half. Both teams in search of a second half winner. Touched ahead here by Brooks. Early ball into the penalty area. It's gonna bounce in for Sarah Cox, and she's able to find it and quickly outlet it to the near side. Utley for McGuire. And Shepard resets.
Gives you the feeling that Fort Lauderdale United has been for giving way too many goals and way too many clear chances.
Mackin was up for grabs in the penalty area. It's going to fall back for Mackin to chase it down. Moyer, good turn. Near side Utley. Utley cuts it back. Good ball into the middle, McGuire. Parsons lays it off. It's a chance here for Amanda Allen. It's still Allen. Parsons blocked. Follow-up attempt is cleared away. Fort Lauderdale does just about enough. Hamid and McCain up the other end. Komani. Brooks enters the fray. Time and some space here for Komani. McCain comes back to help. And Raji and company forced to go all the way back. Gaynor pressured by Parsons, and there was a little bit of a shirt tug. And it's a Fort Lauderdale United free kick. Gives us a chance to revisit the last sequence for Lexington on the attack.
Allen did everything. She didn't give up at any second, and then Parsons was just where she needed. Great save by the Fort Lauderdale United player, just being down and still finding the ability of just keeping the ball and putting it just away.
Daria Raji with some huge moments there, not once but twice. Stopping Madison Parsons. Cox with a dangerous ball. McCain almost won it back. Hamid almost won it back. Lexington just about get it clear. Vaca. Raji. Celia Gaynor up for Komani. And Komani's pass is cut out by Kaylee Utley, who tries to release Parsons. Up the other end, goalkeeper's off the line. Madison Parsons scores again. More Maddie magic here in the Sunshine State, and Lexington have come from 1-0 down to lead 2-1. A brace from Madison Parsons.
I think that the Maddie Magic has to stay. You have Morshey just trying to get out. And then at the end, Linda wasn't able to catch how fast Madison Parsons was going. She already had one. She wanted the second one. And when you don't have a goalie in the back, just go direct. What a moment. I wanted to tell you a few minutes ago that it felt more close to having the second one for Lexington than the second one for Lauderdale United. And this is gold for Lexington.
Parsons had 2 goals coming into the night all season. She has both of Lexington's goals tonight, I should say. And Mike Dickey's side again showing their bounce back ability. Trailed in the first half, and they've come all the way back to take the lead on the road. It's the second game of a 4-game road trip for Lexington. They passed the first test in Spokane, and they have the lead here in Davie.
United they gave up too many good chances.
Parsons back to work, and her cross is going to go out of play. I thought there might have been a deflection on that. Referee says no, it's a goal kick. And Fort Lauderdale now, it's their turn to try to bounce back.
And this one also came up from moments of United just trying to go forward and then not being able to trail back. And that is something you have to take in consideration. Even if you want to be an attacking club, you always need to know where you're positioned defensively and go back. I'm not saying that it's a quote-unquote mistake, because you understand the phases of the game and how it's being played, but you can't allow moments of not being so concentrated in terms of not knowing who do you have in your back.
Fort Lauderdale's turn up the other end. Hamid cutting inside, it was blocked away. Still not cleared, clipped back into the edge of the penalty area. Headed away by Moyer. McCain. Komani. Touched ahead by Smith. It's Gordon! Saved by Sarah Cox.
Wherever you have the possibility of seeing Gordon just to get closer to the goal, you know something dangerous is going to happen, but she's just been missing that final touch. And then, of course, Cox. You know, she's been the other different player for Lexington, just being able to stop the good opportunities that United have had.
Free kick there for Lex Sporting. By average age in the USL Super League, Lexington is the youngest team in the league. Their average age is 22 years, 0.71. Fort Lauderdale is actually the second youngest, 23.6. Just another impressive stat about this recent run for Mike Dickey's group. He says they continue to get better, they continue to play our style, they continue to do what we ask of them. And they've come from behind here in Davie. A challenge comes in there. And it's out for a corner for Lexington on the far side. Well, the player down here for Lexington. It's a moment or two. I think that was Courtney Jones, who's trying to make her way inside the penalty area there.
Yeah, I think the ref didn't see anything, the assistant, but it seemed like she immediately, as soon as there was contact in there, she went down and grabbed her right foot.
And remember, Fort Lauderdale took the lead earlier through Addie McCain, and then ever since, it's been the Madison Parsons show. This was the first goal late in the first half. Wonderful turn and finish to equalize for Lexington. And she was able to get on the end of that pass in behind. Goalkeeper overcommitted and scored to make it 2-1. And as Lexington are looking at Jones, Fort Lauderdale are going to change some things up. A couple of substitutions brought to you by Omega XL Sport. It's like Shania Gordon is going to come out. Nia Christopher is coming on. And Cheyenne Allen is also going to come in for Jasmine Hamid or Tyrone Mears' side.
And it's incredible that he's taking both of those two players out. They have been the most dangerous in terms of getting into the opponent's box, into creating, but also they have been the ones lacking those good chances. So maybe just bringing fresh legs, a different take on the field into the last 15 plus stoppage could be something different for Lauderdale United.
Well, the inaugural USL Super League season is well underway. Visit USLSuperLeague.com for all the latest information, analysis, insight into all things Super League. Well, Lex Sporting have a corner to work with. They take it short. Moyer was deflected on the way through. Oh, and the referee says it came off an arm. Handball is the decision, and Lexington are going to get a good set-piece opportunity here to work with.
And back on moving just a little bit the back line, because you know you're going to be able to cover every single space, every single pocket that you may allow, because set pieces are the thing, and you have Perez there. And don't want to bring Winter into Fort Lauderdale either, so.
Now, Allen is there as well with Perez, so two options here. But, of course, if there was any doubt, Perez is going to take it. It's a decent ball in as well. Brooks tried to touch it away, then it's cleared to the near side. Both teams saying who was it last off of, and it's going to go Lexington's way. It's going to be a throw-in. And on second thought, it's going to go Fort Lauderdale's way. Well, the initial indication was Lexington, and I think the assistant may have given the referee a different view on that. Ball is sent up ahead, and Utley gets on the end of this for Lexington. It's Kaylee Utley! And it's a good stop by Morche. Yeah,
she was center, but still she was able to grab that ball. It was such a great force. And so early and easily, they've been able to create big chances now. We said it, second half was going to be interesting, and it has. The reaction from United has to be clear in terms of what they're going to intend of doing throughout the season. It's your second game at home. You were controlling it. You had the chances. Now you need to come back.
Yeah, the last time Fort Lauderdale lost, you have to go back to September 6th, 2-1 defeat against Carolina. Early weeks of the season. Taylor Smith ends up losing out. Oh, and was there a late challenge there? No, it's just going to be a clearance out for a throw, although Courtney Jones is feeling the after effects. And the substitutions board is up, and I think that's going to be the last act for Courtney Jones tonight. Tried to battle through. She is going to be substituted out here. Autumn Weeks is going to come on, another Omega XL Sports substitution for Mike Dickey's group. Ticking down on the final 10 minutes plus stoppage time here on Peacock. Changes confirmed. Weeks is on. And Jones is out. Hopefully nothing too serious there, but she was clearly in some discomfort. Long throw-in for Fort Lauderdale here. McCain tries to get on the end of the second ball and nudge it down. Handball appeals come in from the Fort Lauderdale United players. Referee shakes her head no. Gaynor resets for United. Lindahl down the line. It was cut out initially by Mackin. Fort Lauderdale keeps it going with Komani. Laveni Vaca clips it into the penalty area, but Sarah Cox is able to get on the end of it for Lexington.
And great cross and long range from Vaca, just trying to look for Allen. Not enough, she wasn't there. And good reaction, you know, you feel that there's a PK committed against you and nothing happens and you just move on and keep on going.
Well, again, if Lexington can hold on, they would jump up to 6th place in the table on 8 points. Not only would they jump ahead for now of Spokane, they'd also jump ahead of DC. But Fort Lauderdale still have time to change the narrative. It's played across, and it was just behind Vaca. Lexington bring it up the other way with Utley. Parsons, who's on a hat trick, leaves it for McGuire. And McGuire tried to leave it for Parsons, but Raji anticipated it first.
That was a great recovery from her, because that's what they did in the first half. They were able to get every ball back and just go forward.
Far side, Brooks for Raji. Looks like Fort Lauderdale might have more reinforcements on the way. Another great challenge there by Mackin. Parsons gets dispossessed by Christopher. Oh, and Christopher nearly got past Mackin. But Mackin is able to stand her ground and win the challenge. McGuire keeps it going for Lexington here. And Moyer resets. Well, time's starting to become more and more of a factor. It's going to be clipped up ahead. Back towards Shepard and Mackin. Julie Mackin just about keeps that going for Lexington with the help of Shea Moyer. Parsons heading it upfield, looking for McGuire. Mary Kate McGuire's pressure, and it's going to be cleared away by Cosette Morche in goal. Winters header. Allows Lexington again to reset some of the longest passages of play that Lexington have had with the ball. Utley lays it off. Parsons tried to play it across, deflected out by Vaca, and it's a Lexington corner on the near side. And Fort Lauderdale, before it's taken, are going to make a couple of alterations here. Komani is the first to leave us here. Tatiana Fung is going to take her place. Also, Delaney Lindahl is also going to come out. Erica Gomez is going to take her place. Omega XL Sport provides you both of those alterations for Tyrone Mears and Fort Lauderdale.
For Tati, this is her second match coming from the bench, whereas for Erica Gomez, the Brazilian player, this is her debut. So just, you know, taking advantage of that moment, another player debuted, which was Lindahl, exactly the player that she subbed in for.
We'll have some work to do on this set piece. It's clipped in. It was headed out of the penalty area. Then good first touch off the bench from Gomez, but again, Lexington quickly win the ball back with Utley. Perez, and on the follow-up, he's sent out of play. Stay up to date with the USL Super League. Sign up for the Super newsletter. Get news about your favorite team and stories from around the league delivered directly to your inbox weekly. Sign up on uslsuperleague.com/newsletter for more. Header back there. He's going to get to the goalkeeper, Sarah Cox. It was Weeks on the defensive cover there. So the big message from Mike Dickey and his staff to the players this week was Obviously, great celebrations around the win in Spokane. It was a wonderful achievement. Now keep it going. And they've got a real chance of keeping it going now. They won a free kick here, and they have 5 minutes plus stoppage time to try to see this out. They trailed earlier, but a Madison Parsons double of goals has Lexington in front.
And 2 back-to-back away games, and if you do get those 6 points from away matches, it's always so important, and mainly because the effort was there emotionally, from coming from behind and just getting the goals. That has to be a lot for them.
If it holds, Fort Lauderdale would stay in 3rd place where they began the night. Just 1 point ahead of Dallas, but only 1 point back of Brooklyn, who are currently in 2nd. Touched up ahead by Fung. Handed it away, and well, Tati Fung gets it right back and clips it into the penalty area, where Perez is there. Clears it right back to Fung. Another chance for United. Smith. Edge of the penalty area, it's touched along, and it's cleared out of play by Mackin. Another Fort Lauderdale throw. The pressure continues to mount. Sent back towards goal here. Cox makes the catch. That was a big catch there from Sarah Cox, but Fort Lauderdale push ahead in search of a late equalizer. That's clipped forward. Weeks is on the cover. And just about deals with that, although Addie McCain follows up for Fort Lauderdale. Helps to win it back and wins the host a throw-in. They'll take it quickly. Referee was looking because it looks like Lexington are getting some changes ready. This is clipped back into the middle. Oh, it was just out of reach for Christopher. First time ball back in by Vaca. Fung leaves it for Smith. Fung in behind. Christopher back across, and Sarah Cox makes the save for Lexington. And Gomez on debut is thwarted.
That is a response that you want from a home team losing after being winning for such a long time and dominating the ball. And then this is a save that it's definitely worth 3 points. Such a close range. And Cox was able to come big for Lexington. And then you just said it, the Brazilian player just stepping into the field, and you can get the idea of what she's going to bring to the United team.
Mike Dickey said it to us earlier this week. The best players, they do. They don't think, they just do it. And Sarah Cox again makes a huge stop for Lexington SC.
Because definitely it was her making the difference in terms of the United scoring those goals. She was big all throughout, aside from the goal that she couldn't do much more.
Coming off the game where she was unbelievable against Spokane, she's backed it up again tonight. Tyrone Mears and his side coming so close there to finding an equalizer. They still might. Still stoppage time to go here after the 90 minutes elapse.
Doesn't stop till it stops.
That's right. Especially the way the Super League has started out. There's been already so many late goals. Lexington know all about that. Can his team close this one out? Sarah Cox will look upfield and send it forward. Goes down to play again. Mike Dickey is getting a couple of changes ready here. Wait and see when those are going to be made, and well, they're going to be made right now. Kimberly Mendez is going to come on. Mary Kate McGuire will come out. And the second change is Jennifer Albiu is going to come on. And well, what a night for Madison Parsons. She is done. but not before she graced us with a pair of wonderful goals, the first one being the best.
Such a great brace for her, taking advantage, a goal from another match. Nothing had happened in terms of attack for Lexington until she was able to get that one. And then this one, not only hers, you got to give it to Otley for that great assist, and then she was just good in terms of scoring without any goalkeeper there. Hey, but I've seen a few send it away, out.
Composure, right?
Yeah, so you need to be going directly, knowing what to do.
Those subs are presented by Omega XL Sports. We're into 5 added minutes here on Peacock. Still time for Fort Lauderdale to rescue something from the match. Chance on this far side to move it forward. Sent out to the far end here, Gomez. Tried to lay it off for Smith. It's cleared away by Mendez. Brooks resets for Fort Lauderdale. Clipped up ahead, and that time Autumn Weeks was able to help out. Touched ahead for Albiu. Albiu isn't closed down. Going to use up as much time as she can. She can't hold on to possession. Brooks tries to clear it. And it's going to be a Lexington throw on the far side. Cheyenne Allen and company trying to make it happen for Fort Lauderdale. Allen lays it off, and it's touched down the line nicely here for Albiu. Takes it into the corner, uses up more time. Can't quite win the throw. Goes back to Fort Lauderdale, about 2.5 minutes, maybe a little bit more still to go. McCain, early ball up ahead for Gomez. Goalkeeper commits, and Gomez! Oh, it's cleared off the line! Nearly a debut goal for Gomez, but it's a goal line clearance from Julie Mackin. Lexington just about stays ahead. Incredible!
And how fast was McCain just able to put the ball for Gomez? And, you know, whenever you're defending, you have to follow along, and that's exactly what McCain did. Everything is win from the bench.
From the corner. The header can't go towards goal. Amanda Allen just clears it upfield, only as far as Raji. Raji clips it back in. Oh, it's headed down here. Smith. Smith's ball back across is onto the roof of the net. And it's a goal kick with 1.5 minutes left.
What a finish. And how clearly for Dickey have been the substitutions impacted the game so much. Smith just putting that ball, trying to cross it, ends up going behind, but still, these last 2 minutes are gonna be all or nothing.
Just off camera, Tyrone Mears couldn't believe how close those two chances were.
Nobody could, son.
We talked about the heroics of Madison Parsons, but Julie Mackin may have just made, I should say, the biggest play of the night.
Can that be like the save of the week? Because it's such a great save.
Clip back into the edge of the penalty area. McCain for Smith. Smith follows up. Christopher can't get a shot away. Kept alive by Fung. Final seconds here. It's gonna be Brooks. And Brooks sends it out of play, and Lexington are nearly there. Oh, Fort Lauderdale trying everything to get this over the line, but Lexington are holding on to this lead for dear life. Cox will send this ahead. 5 minutes are up. How much more time will the referee allow? Is there time for Fort Lauderdale to create one more chance? Offside flag goes up against Gomez. Lexington free kick. Shepard told to take it. They won a wonderful game in Spokane last time out, going through all the different twists and turns. Can they hold on here in Davie, Florida? Cleared away by Mackin. Looks like we're going to at least play into a 7th added minutes. Lexington nearly moved that forward. Fort Lauderdale might still have some time left. It's clipped up ahead. Headed away only as far as Gomez. Fung tries to help it along. Was it handled on the way through? Referee plays advantage. Brooks. Brooks's cross is blocked. Cleared by Mendez. And that's it. Full time in Florida. Lexington does it again on the road. And they pick up back-to-back impressive wins here in the USL Super League. They beat Fort Lauderdale by 2-1. They're unbeaten in their last 3 league matches, and they end Fort Lauderdale's 3-game winning streak after another thriller in the Super League tonight. 2-1 is the final score, and Lex Sporting have won it.
Incredible for both ways. For Lauderdale United not being able to secure that advantage that they have, and then of course for Lexington doing what they did.
We're joined by one of the many Lexington heroes tonight, Madison Parsons, kind enough to join us. Madison, congratulations on the victory. Can you take us through that first goal? It was a wonderful finish. What was going through your mind when you took that opportunity?
Honestly, I got it. It was at my feet. I took a touch and I hit it. There wasn't much going through my head at that moment.
Mentally, how have you been handling this 90 minutes of a game when you started losing and not having the ball, and then you scored that goal, and then in second half you were such a different team? What changed?
You know, that's just how our team is. You know, we're grinding to the 98th minute of any match. I'm just really proud of our team's grit up until the final whistle.
Back-to-back wins for Lexington. Madison Parsons, congratulations. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Wonderful win for Lexington here on the road. 3 matches unbeaten. They come from behind to beat Fort Lauderdale in a wonderfully played game here in the USL Super League by 2-1. Our save of the game is presented by Baptist Health. Quite a few to choose from. This was the biggest one of the night for Fort Lauderdale from their perspective.
Yeah, it was just trying to see Morse being able to do what she was capable of just doing in terms of stopping Lexington in one way or the other, mainly in that second half where they were just trying to get there.
The Raji block was big at the moment. Of course, Madison Parsons and company would end up finding a way for Lexington here on Peacock. Another wonderful game in the USL Super League. We'll step aside for a moment. Lexington wins back-to-back road games. They win tonight by 2-1. We'll wrap it all up next. Corner for Fort Lauderdale. It goes right at goal, and Cox can't keep it out. Plumbing. Sean St. Jacques, Carmen Boquin back here with you full time here in Davie, Florida. Big win for Lexington. Back-to-back wins now, thanks to Madison Parsons. A 2-1 victory as you look back at the full-time highlights presented by Blue Water, books and charts, I should say. And Carmen, we begin with the opening goal scored by Addie McCain for Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, you could give it to Cox. She was able to make a big save, but at the end that ball was deflected and it came across to Addie McCain, scoring her 6th goal of the season and her 4th against Lexington.
And then Madison Parsons took over from there.
I'm going to give it to you, Maddie Magic, because that's exactly what she did there. That goal came from such another level, and it was the most important thing that they did in terms of that first half. And then this, come on. What else do you need when you see your goalkeeper so far away and then just go directly on goal? Be steady on it. Don't fail with the goal empty and score this way. It was gorgeous definition.
Kept her cool and gives Lexington a 2-1 win tonight. Full-time stats presented by Beyond Bancard look like this. Fort Lauderdale had their opportunities. There's no question about that. Lexington's defense deserves credit for holding them off. And of course, Madison Parsons, of course, clinical enough to lead the way to a victory.
Yeah, they came here conceding a lot, but in this one it was only 1, and then they got to score just 2 more. It's not of how many chances, many big chances you get in terms of conceding them. It's what they were able to create, and they created those 2 great goals from a player that was ready to make the difference today, like Maddie Parsons.
Well, Lexington starting to become road warriors in the USL Super League. Back-to-back impressive road wins to begin this 4-game road trip for Mike Dickey's side. They trailed earlier, but Madison Parsons turns it around to give Lexington a 2-1 win here on Peacock. For Carmen Boquin and our entire crew, Sean St. Jacques saying so long. Big win for Lexington.